Everything in existence appears to have an opposite.
It seems to be the fundamental property of the universe that we live in.
But what then is the opposite of reality itself, of existence,
Of the universe,
and of everything that our physical senses can discern?
that 50% of what is
Just what we're trying to learn more about.
the Metaphysical Podcast Network is your spot to start pioneering the kind of stuff that mystics have been talking about for ages.
And quantum physicists are just starting to discuss. You can learn more and listen in at
Metaphysics Podcast Network. New videos up weekly. Subscribe now. So what's up, guys? I'm Jason, the Blue Moon of Neptune, here to help you guys navigate through the illusions of life. I'm here with Shams.
Yo.
And today we're going to be, going over astrology and talking about how we can use astrology to help you guys find your purpose and get in alignment. We're just going to dive right into it, and hopefully throughout this course you'll learn how to read your own chart and understand astrology better.
Cool.
So how you doing today?
Good. I'm excited actually. Now that I'm awake and ready to go, it's fun to start learning something new, and I like learning from the very beginning. I don't know why. It just feels like fresh and like complete. So, because I learned a lot from you already, but I've always felt like it's like fragments here and there, and I'm slowly piecing them together. So it'll be nice to start from square one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people they go to understand astrology, but it's like all over the place, and no one's kind of breaking it down from the ground up.
Yeah.
Then it feels too complicated to even tackle. So that's the goal here, is to help you guys understand it from the ground. That way you guys can go out here and understand it and use it for your own benefit. So, so I specialize in helping people find what I call their cosmic DNA. So the energies you were born with in this lifetime, that's going to assist you to get in better alignment with the universe so you can fulfill your purpose. So, the first question would be, what is astrology, right? Like what the hell is that? It's like there's planets out there, and somehow that tells me about myself.
Yeah.
So, what people need to think about when they're thinking about the stars is each planet, and the sun and the moon will also be considered the planets. They carry certain energies, right? So what do we do when the sun goes up? We all go to work. What do we do when the sun goes down and the moon comes up? We all go home and do things that we feel more comfortable with and we enjoy. So in astrology, the sun and the moon have a lot to do with that. The sun controls our programs, our egos, what we're constantly taking action on, as far as like what we think we're supposed to be doing, like AKA go to work, go to school, take care of your responsibilities when the sun goes up. But when the moon goes up, we all start doing what we feel like doing. So the moon will control more of the emotional vibe of us, what we feel like doing, what feels comfortable to us, our emotional reaction to things, right? So that's the first thing you want to think about. Each planet has a certain energy about it. So most people know Venus has something to do with love. And so in astrology, where you see Venus in your chart, it's going to tell you a lot about love, right? So when you're first born, and you first come out of the womb, the first thing we want to do is record what time you're born, because then we can go in the sky or on the program and look exactly where each planet was in the sky. And us being able to do that allows us to get an idea of who you are. And now each planet is also in a certain area in the sky, right? So it's in a sign. So for example, if the sun was in Capricorn when you were born, that means you're a Capricorn sun sign. But where was the actual sun? What place in the sky was it? What constellation was it? And that's going to tell you a lot too, right? Because the sun has a certain energy, and it's in a certain sign, but it's in a certain area, which what we would call the house system, right?
Oh, that.
So when
okay,
we look,
yeah.
the house system, and we'll get into that deeper. But do you follow everything I'm saying so far?
Yeah, because, so we're talking about the different planets, where they are in the sky when you're born. That's determining your cosmic DNA. And it's the same as the natal chart, right? That's what people call a natal chart?
Exactly. So when you see that little circle and the wheel on it,
Yeah.
And you have all those symbols. The symbols will be the planets, where the pointing would be the houses that I'm talking about, the area of life, and the sign they're in, which will be the energy that you're dealing with.
Okay, cool. And then the signs and the, I guess we're going to get into all that later, so I shouldn't ask questions about the signs and the houses and all that stuff.
Yeah, right. So, just my goal here is to make sure you understand that the planets are doing something, and they kind of dictate where your energies are pointing. Look at the planets like a flashlight, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know the moon has a lot to do with our emotions, right? But where is the moon flashlight pointing to in the sky, right? Is it in the sign of Pisces, right?
Mm.
And so we we know that Pisces is very emotional, right? Because it's a water sign. Most people know that Pisces gets sensitive and stuff like that. But where in the sky is the moon for that person? And that's going to also tell us a lot too, right? So if it's in, let's say, the seventh house of relationships, then this person is going to be super emotional when it comes to their relationships and how people treat them, right? But if it was in the area of the sky of career, then we know this person is going to be really sensitive and emotionally attached to what they're doing in the world, right? But no matter what, with a Pisces moon, the emotional sign with an emotional planet, this person is going to be sensitive and a little bit emotional, period. And then we look at where it's at. Period.
Okay. So I really like the idea of the flashlight, because everyone has like elements of like all the signs and houses and planets. It's right. Like no one's missing Mars, or I guess the planets is different, but like no one, even if you don't have any planets in Capricorn, there you can still get stuff done, or you still have some
Capricorn energy.
Yeah,
Right.
there's like so, but then the idea of the flashlights, it's like which energies are shining the brightest, or which ones are being like illuminated and focused on in your personality.
Correct.
That's like really makes a lot of sense, because I always wondered like, well, like I don't know, I always felt like we have everything, just
Right.
those.
Well, we do have everything, right? Because
Mhm.
everyone is born in the same world with the same energies, right?
Yeah.
But where your energy is getting focused on, where is
Yeah.
the flashlight getting pointed?
That makes
So you
sense.
can embody energy that your planets aren't on, but you're just more focused on where your planets are. You see. And so that's how we can just understand why those lines are there in the symbols when you look at the chart. It's like a flashlight pointing down to a certain area of life.
That's cool.
So when you understand this, right, and you take your entire chart in a whole, and you put it together, someone like me can look at it and tell you about yourself, tell you about the energies you have, tell you about the karma you have, tell you, the destiny you have, or the area of life you're headed towards, and what you're supposed to be doing in the world, and your traits and talents and gifts. And it tells you a lot about like your personality, and what you're good at, what you're not good at, what hurts you, what doesn't hurt you, how you tick, how you feel emotionally, what you're looking for in love, the family life you might have. It tells you about your mother, your father. It literally tells you anything you want to look at. Astrology will give you an idea. You can literally look at it.
Okay, wait. So I get the idea of like it tells you about your personality traits and stuff like that. But then when you said your mother and your father, what is like? How do you mean by that? Like, how does your
Good
chart
question.
tell you about someone else?
So, who would be the king of astrology, the father of the zodiac? That will most likely be the sun, right? Because everything
That makes
evolves
sense.
around
Okay.
the sun.
Yeah.
So in astrology, the sun is considered the father. Okay. Now, what would be considered the mother in astrology? What's in the sky just as much as the sun, and from
Yeah.
our perspective, what is just as big? The moon, right? So the moon and the sun are the royal family, the mother and the father of the zodiac, right? So we look for. That being said, we would look at the moon to see a lot about your mom, right? And that will give us a little bit of understanding about your mom. So let's say you have a sign of your moon sign is in
Sag. Can we do mine?
Sagittarius.
Then I'll be able to
Right.
relate it to my. Because actually, I already kind of see it, and my dad is a Cancer sun sign like me, but like if I anyways, go on. What are you gonna say?
Oh, okay. So you just said it. Your dad's a Cancer like you, right? So you have a sun sign of Cancer, and Cancer rules your father, right? So it's safe to assume your dad's gonna have Cancer energy. So he may not be an actual Cancer in his case. In this case, he is a Cancer, but he's gonna have Cancer traits. He's gonna be very family oriented. He's gonna be very big on taking care of people. He's gonna be very nurturing. He might even be sensitive about certain things. He might be a homebody because the mother wants to be at home with the children. He might really care about his children. You see what I mean? So and since Cancer is the mother sign, he might have a thing going on with his mother. He might really care about his mother. You see what I mean? And what's your mom's? What's your moon sign?
Sagittarius. The one thing that comes to mind is my mom's definitely more fiery than my dad by a lot. So, and I know, but
right, because Sagittarius is a very fiery sign. We'll get to the elements eventually, but each sign has an element which will tell you a lot too. Cancer is water, so it's more about the vibes, the emotions, and the fire is more about the sea and the expression. So your mom's very expressive, and Sagittarius is a sign of teaching and a sign of wisdom. So safe to say that your mom is very wise. Right?
Yeah,
she wants to teach you your wisdom, her wisdom.
That's
correct?
a big thing. Yeah. That's definitely true.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've been noticing that more and more when I see her interacting with people who aren't me. I thought it was just like a mother-son thing, but no, she's like that with everyone. Which is like, I shall bestow upon you my wisdom. Don't worry, I got you. Let me tell you what's up. All right, so that's really interesting. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that because that kind of makes me wonder. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's interesting. It seems like it's backwards affected. Like your parents were there first. So, but anyways, time's not supposed to be linear. So all this is up in the air. Let's continue staying like on focus for now. I'll get back to you with weird questions later.
But that was a good question. But just like that, like I said, you can pretty much find anything in astrology.
That's really nuts.
Pretty much astrology gives you an idea of anything regarding your life. One thing and this actually gives me a point. Someone asked me the other day, it's like, what is astrology? Like, it feels like a religion. I don't want to believe in this, but it seems real. And I think that's something that everyone should know. Astrology is not a religion, okay? Astrology is not some type of thing you join or something like that.
Yeah, No, that's weird. I never got that impression, but I can see how it would get that impression. But for another thing that I thought that I found out that it's not, is that also astrology is not witchcraft. Like, it's not like you're using like some kind of rituals or something to try to influence reality, and like, I don't know, it's not like that. It's pretty much like a science, but it's a metaphysical science. I mean, that is what it is actually.
Right. And the best way to look at it is look at astrology as a language. Okay, it's just a simple. It's like a foreign language to people, and people are afraid of what they don't understand. But astrology is nothing but another language to understand life. Okay, before we had technology, before we had clocks, how did we tell what time it was? Right? We looked at the sun. If the sun was at the highest point in the sky, we knew the energy was high, and it was the middle of the day. If it's a full moon, we knew that the energy was potent, the magic was potent. You know, people make wishes on full moons. You see what I'm saying?
You know what? That's probably what it is, because witchcraft witches will use astrology to enhance their witchcraft. So there's that connection,
right.
But people don't realize that astrology is a whole separate thing. Like, witches will use like a knife to sacrifice a sheep, but that doesn't make knives evil. Like, it's a tool like anything else, you know. But astrology is a language that just blows my mind, because that's exactly what it is. Like, literally, it's like letters are symbols, and planets and constellations all have symbols. And like writing, you write left to right on a line. Astrology, you write in a circle. But like, just because it looks a little different, it's just like, those are just superficial differences. It's literally like has all the elements of a language almost. It might be used a little differently. Like, you don't talk between people that way, but it's still like math is a language. You don't talk through math, but you do talk through math to a mathematician who knows what's up. Then
exactly. Astrology is a code, you know, is a mathematical code. You know, just like everything in the universe has to do with numbers, so does astrology. You see, it's a perfect circle, 360 wheel, and each house system has 30 degrees until it hits 12. Just like there's 12 hours, there's 12 signs. You see what I mean? And then each one has a certain degree, and it will tell you things. So depending on the alignment of a planet, will tell you like angles and degrees. It tell you the aspects, right? So if you have a trine, then you have a nice aspect, a nice alignment, a nice. I want to say, I don't want to get to the
But this is just on a basic level. This is how the planets are related to each other on the circle, right? Like if they're opposite each other, it's like 180 degrees. The line.
exactly.
And then you're
Right.
just talking about a trine would probably be like an equilateral.
120.
Oh, 120. Okay, that makes sense, right? 120, 120. Wait, yeah, and then that would add up to 360, so that's a third of the triangle. So, okay, I feel like that's a little advanced for now, though. That's the part that kind of scares me, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's my personal
But
thing.
once you see your entire chart and you're able to see all of it at one time and interpret all of it at one time,
That's
right?
crazy.
You're able to understand yourself better. You're able to understand life better. You're able to harmonize yourself with relationships better. You're able to have predictions on life better, and you're able to understand the world energy a lot better. And what I mean by predictions, because people are like, wait, I thought you said astrology wasn't, magic or something. Basically, everything, all the planets move at a certain speed, right? So whenever you're born, let's say you're a Capricorn, you were born on December 23rd, then that means every December 23rd, the sun's going to be in 23 degrees Capricorn, or it's going to be in that same exact area that was born. That it was when
I get
born,
you. Yeah, okay.
right? So you could predict certain cosmic weather during this time. During the Capricorn season, people are going to be more
so
about their
cosmic
business.
weather. Hold on. I think that makes sense to me, but can you just like tell me what you mean by cosmic weather real quick?
Okay, so cosmic weather would be, certain energies happening in the sky. Okay, so during Capricorn season, first of all, it's Saturn, so it's a very cold season, right? So it's going to be winter time. Capricorn is a very cold energy. Capricorn is all about structure, and it's all about status. It's about manifesting things that you want, and stuff like that. So it's fair to say during Capricorn season, people are going to be thinking about their future. People are going to be thinking about their sanity, where they stand in life, and what they want in life, and what they're trying to build, and what they're trying to construct. Because Saturn's all about structure and bringing things together. You see, and people come together during Capricorn season. And it's a very earthly time, so people want to be grounded. People want to be practical. People want to be logical and consistent.
Wait, what months are Capricorn again? For the sun?
It's like December. Capricorn.
Okay, like December. So that's interesting. So all of the sun signs are going to, like the cosmic weather for the year is always going to be the same based on the sun signs, right?
Right.
Like July is always going to be Cancer energy, and what's after that? August is Leo or whatever. Or not like exactly because it goes in the middle, but like you know what I mean. It's always going to be around
Capricorn
the same time.
is from December 22nd to January 20th, right? So what happens during that time? New Year. And what do people do during the New Year? They start making all these wishes on what they want to do that year, and how they want to make revolutions on changes in their life and stuff like that. And that's very Capricorn energy, status, structure, what you want, what you're trying to build. You see what I mean? So that's New Year energy, you see, and that's when Capricorn season is, December 22nd to January 20th.
We gotta have like a whole conversation about like going through the whole year, January to December, and breaking down the energies and like, because that's interesting.
Right.
That would be good to know because it doesn't change as much. Like all the planets and the retrogrades, and even the moon. Because I know about the moon. Cause I mean, it shifts like a month or two every year. Because I know that comes from Ramadan. So basically, like it's hard to keep track of all these planets, but the suns are always the same. So you could keep track of that at least, and that's one of the most powerful. So it would be useful to know what energies are coming up and that are going on now.
And there's a lot of programs out here that will just show you where everything is, and you can look in the future, and you look in the past.
I mean, if you know what you're looking at. So that's what this whole class is about, or this whole learning experience.
Right.
But yeah. So okay. So basically, what I've understood today is that we talked mostly about the planets and that they're going to be in like a house or in a constellation, but and like where they were when you're born constitutes your cosmic DNA, which is basically which is the same as your natal chart, or like is expressed by your natal chart, I guess. Natal chart is a representation of your cosmic DNA on paper.
Right.
And so like wherever a planet is, that's like a flashlight shining down on the constellation and house that it's on, giving you more energy in that area. And we said like astrology is a language, and it helps you also understand the cosmic weather, what energies are happening at a certain time. So not only is there like your personal astrology and people's astrology, but like, what is that, like cosmic astrology, like universe or the planet Earth's astrology? Like, what's the cosmic weather? Is the astrology of what? Of
We would call this, what we call this is transits, okay? And it's where the planets are traveling and how it's hitting Earth, how it's going to hit Earth and affect Earth. That would be like mundane astrology, how it affects the world, right? But you can also take it as far as how it affects you on a personal level. So you can just look at it for a location, like United States, for example, or you can look at it for you personally, or you can look at it for an organization. You can look at it for any way, but that would be a transit on, how the stars are moving and how it's going to affect us.
So just to be like, I know it's a weird question, but if you were on another planet or even in another solar system, then the cosmic weather of Earth would not be the same as that other planet because it would have different relations to all sorts of stuff in the sky. Okay, but then since we're all on Earth, then like it affects all of us pretty like universally on a higher level. And then you're saying that like even like countries, I guess United States like would get slightly different array of cosmic weather than the rest of the Earth,
because like when on the United States when it's daytime, in other areas is nighttime. The moon's out.
True.
You see?
Oh yeah, so that's obviously
location matters.
Difference. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good point. When you do your natal chart, location matters and time of birth matters, and not only for houses. I thought the time of birth only affected the houses, but it affects the signs, like the moon sign, a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had a friend who was cusping, and we did the time wrong, and then we found out she was something else. But anyway.
So if the moon's dead smack in the middle, you know that you're good. But if it's cusping, it's iffy.
Oh, then you want to make careful to get the time as accurate as possible. Okay, cool. So I think I get all that. Was there anything else for this lesson?
No, I think that was a great start.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely. So this time, if anyone has any questions about what we just spoke about, don't hesitate to leave a comment and let us know. But yeah, we're going to be going through, everything from the bottom up. And when this course is over, everyone should have a really good understanding of astrology and how to use it for themselves.
That sounds awesome. And I might type up the notes I made, though they're few. And should we put it on the website? I feel like that would be nice. I like the idea of having all the notes and the stuff in one place. So as we continue, create a nice little library.
Definitely. We'll put it on the site, and this will be on iTunes, and it will be on YouTube, all that good stuff. We're on Instagram, so we'll put all those links under the description as well.
Cool. Yay. That was awesome. All right. So I think we're going to talk in a couple days for lesson 2.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Later. Peace.